Hello, and welcome back. Will Boyles and the studio have just been talking about how much we love the viewing audience, or should we say the listening audience. Welcome back to the program after a commercial break. We are here to discuss the action from all that was week 10 of the NFL season. I'm the announcer host, Dapper Duck, and now I'm going to throw it over to Fred.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. As we said before, every week we seem to be unscripted, and it just seems to be the logical direction to go, to just kind of freelance with this program and to do things spontaneously to see if the audience reaction improves from week to week. So, do we have any suggestions as to how to do the show today? Nope, I got no suggestions. Let's just get to the scores.
Boy, you can always count on Tony to come up with a plan, you know? Thanks, Tony. Thanks for the inspiration.
Yeah, no problem, John.
Alright. So, anyways, let's begin with Philadelphia versus Detroit.
What's there to talk about? Detroit put a whooping on Philadelphia, 45-14. And as best I can remember, we don't talk about the crappy teams on this show unless, for some reason, something happened in that game that was particularly notable.
This is true enough. Okay, John, give us the result of the Golden Chicago game.
You know, Dapper, I don't think that we should do this particular game just yet, because this is the one with the big finale. I think maybe we should wait until the middle part of the show to cover this one.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Carolina at Dallas. What's the little Fred?
Carolina continues on its undefeated course, defeating Dallas on Thursday Night Football, Thanksgiving Day, and it really wasn't as close as the score would indicate. Carolina, under the direction of Luke Kuechly and Cam Newton, have been dominating opponents all year long, and this game was no exception. I do know that I talked to a guy out and about the other day who said that he put $5 on Carolina versus Dallas on FanDuel, and he won $1,000. Can you believe that?
Yeah, actually, I can believe that, because, you got the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton going up against the Cowboys team that's blooming demoralized. They have not even one quarterback on the roster that's worth anything. That's actually a good wager, I think. What say you, Tony?
Well, I'm not really into gambling, but you say so, John. I just try to stay away from that stuff.
Well, I think it's up for debate whether it's actually gambling or not. Well, I don't know. Well, I'm glad that guy won $1,000, but let's move on to the next game.
Tampa Bay at Indianapolis. Yeah, Indianapolis won this particular game over Tampa Bay, and draft bust to be Jameis Winston came up short again, leading his team through a pointless season because they have no chance. Nobody in that division has a chance to catch up with Carolina. 25-12.
Cincinnati at St. Louis. Oh no, St. Louis at Cincinnati. 31-7. Do you want to talk about that one, boys? Yeah, we can talk about that one. After their heartbreaking loss the week before this, Cincinnati comes back and takes it to a St. Louis Rams team that is really overrated just because they won a few games at the beginning of the season. Now, all of a sudden, they're no good. So, hats off to Cincinnati. and they are sure to lock up their division soon. Seattle at Pittsburgh, 39-30.
Yeah, this was a real cliffhanger. Both teams were in it late, and somehow the Seattle Seahawks just managed to pull away and came up with the win. And Russell Wilson and the boys have salvaged their season, but they're still in the same division with the Arizona Cardinals, who aren't looking back. So it's a very strong possibility, considering the situation in the NFC East, that Seattle could easily be one of the wildcard teams going into the playoffs.
New England at Denver. Now this one was much more of a cliffhanger than I think anybody else thought that it might turn into. I mean, you have New England, who is facing a backup quarterback in Brock Osweiler, and they end up taking this one, don't they, Tony?
Yep. Denver wins this game 30-24 in overtime. Nobody expected this to happen.
Well, nobody expected it to happen, and New England forced an overtime. They were trailing the entire game, and then all of a sudden, Denver comes back, first drive, and scores. 30-24. What's a little Fred?
Yeah, I think that this was a bitter pill for New England to swallow, because I think no matter what, Tom Brady wanted to have an undefeated season, but it wasn't meant to be. But the bottom line is that this loss does not define that season. They want to win a back-to-back championship, so I don't think Brady will be satisfied unless that turns out to be the case.
All right, we will talk about the Cleveland Browns versus Ravens game, just because of the fact that everybody in this studio has a great deal of respect for the Ravens and the Ravens organization, and them having the sort of season that they are to this point has got all of us bummed out. And so the fact that they won a game this weekend, we'd like to go ahead and showcase that a bit, if you would.
Yeah, the Ravens beat the Browns 33-27. And like you said before, John, we have a great deal of respect for the Baltimore Ravens organization. And so we just kind of like to mention this game on this particular program, because we feel badly for the good, high-character people in the Ravens organization, and we feel badly that they're having such a bad year. But they'll bounce back and be much better off next year. They just need one good draft to fix some of their holes in their defense and offense.
Okay, so last little Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay loses this game 17-13 to lose a second straight one of the season. And I wouldn't say that Green Bay's in trouble right now, but I wouldn't say that they're not. Green Bay does go through periods where they do lose a couple of games every now and again. Yeah, they do lose a couple of games every now and again, and the last time they lost 2 straight games, they ended up winning the Super Bowl way back in the day, about 4 or 5 years ago. So tell me something, Tony. You're the one that's always being the smart guy. What do you think about this particular game?
Well, I think that Chicago took advantage of a good situation, and they had the A game. Cutler made uncharacteristic limited amount of mistakes per game, and I think as a result of that, they were able to catch the Packers off guard. The Packers didn't think that they could lose a second straight game, and I think that they may have overlooked the Bears. That's my intuition. And I don't have an opinion on the subject. I just think that the Packers need to get it turned around, and that's really all there was to it. And until they have a sense of urgency on this team and quit calling such conservative plays just because a couple of their star players are out, they need to get smart and just get creative with the playbook.
So that's the final notice. So here we go. We had a laugh, and it's time for us to go and say so long to you ladies and gents out there who have been listening to this show faithfully, and hopefully one of these days we'll get to be rich off of this sort of thing. Special thanks to the producers and the studio bunch here at Tired of the Crud Enterprises, and we hope you guys decide to come and tune in next week for all the NFL action. Cheers!